My FPL Game Week 15 team selection, my free hit chip is active going into Game Week 15. As I said in my previous video, we're going to take a look at how my team is going to shape up for my free hits. I am looking at breaking a couple of moves, attacking some fixtures in Game Week 15. So we're going to talk about all the moves that I have planned for my free hit team in this video. What's up everyone, FPL.CARNAGE here. So before we go right into my free hit team selection, let's look at how my team fared in Game Week 14. Game Week 14 came really fast, midweek game week. My team scored a total of 70 points. I had Raya in goal, who kept a clean sheet against Brentford. Really good game from Arsenal. I didn't really see that one coming. I thought Brentford was going to get a goal in that game due to the defensive setup that Arteta was going for. None of their starting centre-backs were present in that game, and I just felt like it could have been a game Brentford score from, but Raya kept a clean sheet, returning 6 points. In my defence, I had Shaw, Munoz, and Goodmanson, who came from the bench because Van de Ven was benched in that game against Newcastle. One that I was particularly surprised about because he hasn't been benched in any of their games so far this season, and it was a really big fixture, so I didn't really see that one coming. But thankfully enough, Goodmanson came on for him with a 4-pointer against Chelsea, returning DEFCON points and 2 extra points, although they lost their clean sheets, but he returned 4 points. Munoz with 14 points, picking up a goal, clean sheet, and a couple of bonus points in the game against Burnley. Shaw lost his clean sheet in the final minutes of the game and also picked up a yellow card before he got substituted and returned just 1 point. Really unfortunate. Could have returned, at least 5 points, and it wouldn't have been such a bad transfer. Compared to moving away from Calafiori, who returned another 8 points, it was really awful. Like I said, I did expect Brentford to score, but we move ahead onto my midfield. Semenyo also returning 4 points in the game against Everton. I think he picked up a couple of DEFCON points in that game. Mbeumo with another 2-pointer. That makes it 3 blanks in a row for the Cameroonian just before his final game week, before the AFCON. He was my vice captain. Honestly, I expected so much from Manchester United in that game against West Ham. West Ham are 19th for goals conceded. And also 19 for goals conceded from set pieces. I honestly expected Mbeumo to get something out of this game. He had a really good chance as well in the first half from a corner, but didn't really materialize into anything, so he returned 2 points. Saka came off the bench to return 6 points after getting the goal that helped Arsenal seal off the game against Brentford. Enzo returning just 2 points as well in the game against Leeds. A really disappointing fixture for Chelsea fans, I'm sure. I didn't really expect Chelsea to drop points against Leeds. Enzo also looked really fatigued in that game. He had played 3 games off a spin in about 7-10 days, so wasn't really one of his best games, not one of his best performances, so just 2 points from him. Up top, Mateta 2 points with another 60th minute sub. It's one that I'm really worried about, and with his fixtures coming up, if I wasn't on my free hit, he's one that I'll be looking to move on from my team. Thiago is my second striker with just 1 point. Honestly, I don't know why he was benched and then came off in the second half against Arsenal. It was really annoying and frustrating because I was hoping, when I saw the team sheet where Thiago and Saka were benched, I was hoping for Reinders coming off from my bench with the 7-pointer that he got in the game against Fulham. But Thiago did come in the second half and returned just the 1 point. Haaland, who was my captain, returning 28 points after picking up a goal and 2 assists and a couple of bonus points as well. So I'm really happy that I did stick with him as a captaincy option. Mateta and Mbeumo were also, some captaincy options for me this week, but thankfully the armband was stuck on Haaland, and he returned 28 points. On my bench, like I said, Dubravka returned 2 points after conceding just a goal against Crystal Palace. Reinders with 7 points in the game against Fulham. Senesi, who was suspended, was on my bench, and Van de Ven, who didn't play in the game against Newcastle. So both returned 0 points on my bench. So my team scored a total of 70 points, a slight red arrow despite these returns, but I am positive considering that I am activating my free hits in a game where I feel like there will be a lot of points to be gained. So yeah, we can take a look at what my free hit team looks like at the moment. At the moment, I have Raya in goal still. Despite the fact that they're playing Aston Villa, I do have a stronger feeling that they will concede in this game. Villa have won their last 10 games out of 12. They are on really, really great form, sitting third on the Premier League table right now. And this game is a game where Arsenal are going to be away from home. It's always a tough fixture when they go to Villa Park. They always seem to concede. It's always an end-to-end game where both teams find a way to score. So I am just worried about the possibility that Arsenal still has the best defense in the league, possibly in Europe. So if they do find a way to keep a clean sheet in this game, I just feel that the Arsenal defensive ownership will hurt my rank by not having an Arsenal defender, which is the reason I have Raya in goal at the moment. But I do feel this is a game where Arsenal do concede, especially if they do start that centre-back partnership. We know that Mosquera got subbed off and Timber came on, so that's also one to watch. I think maybe we see Timber pair up with Hincapié in the defence if Saliba isn't back yet. That offers a little bit more solidity with Timber playing at centre-back, but I still think Villa can get a goal against Arsenal and wipe that clean sheet. But he's going to be starting, like I said. I am wary of the Arsenal defensive ownership, so he's going to be my keeper. In my defense, I'm going with Dan Burn, Lewis Hall, and McGuire. Dan Burn and Hall, really, really terrific for Newcastle so far. Hall, we just know he has a lot of potentials for attacking returns. He is highest up the pitch. Compared to the two wing backs between him and Livramento, he's always in there getting the assists. I think he's on a few corners as well. I think he takes corner set pieces. Yeah. And then Dan Burn, we know, is a really great threat from these set pieces. A DEFCON monster as well. I could also go for Malik Thiaw, just because I'm a bit worried about Newcastle defensive rotation as they look forward to their UCL clash in midweek. So it's just one I'm contemplating. I do think if I don't go with Burn and Hall, I may end up going with Thiaw and Livramento, but I do want to double up on the Newcastle defense. But I am stuck with Burn and Hall just before the deadline. And then my third defender, like I said, is McGahey. Just because I like the Fulham defense. I don't know what the turn-up is going to be like in the Fulham game, but Guehi has been really good for defensive contributions, and he just somehow finds a way to pick up an attacking return every now and then. He got an assist, a couple of got DEFCON rather, and picked up 3 bonus points in their last game, returning 14 points. So it's just a really, really decent pick. I also looked at Tarkowski as an option, really good for DEFCON. Also, if they manage to keep a clean sheet, I think that could see him return a really great, point haul, because whenever he does get DEFCON and keep a clean sheet, he's most likely going to get on the bonus point system. Delete is also one I was looking at, but I don't know whether he's going to be fit enough to start the game against Wolves. So these are options I do have for my third spot defensively. Going on to my midfield, I have stuck with Saka against Aston Villa. He has 3 attacking returns in his last 3 games for Arsenal. I think he has the most shots in the box amongst Arsenal attackers so far in their last 6 games as well. And he has a really decent record against Aston Villa. So I'm going to be, starting him as one of my midfielders. I also have Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo away at Wolves. Now, Bruno was quite unlucky not to get a goal return in their last game against West Ham. He's also my vice captain going into this game alongside Mbeumo. Wolves, we know, are currently last on the table, have not kept a clean sheet in their last. I think they have just 1 clean sheet this season. I think Man U would look for a way to get a win in this game, possibly 3-0, 4-0, or a 3-1, 4-1, because it's really, really difficult for Man U to keep clean sheet nowadays, which is really strange. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo are my second and third midfielder. Bruno Guimaraes is the one I'm going for from the Newcastle attack. He has returned massive hauls in his last 4 home games in the Newcastle shirt. He returned, I think, 14, 10, 11, and 7 points in his last 4 home games. He did get the rest against Tottenham, but he came off in the second half. I do think he starts this game, maybe gets subbed off along the line when the game is, has been won and, just gone. So I am going to start with him as my Newcastle attacker. And my 5th midfielder is Phil Foden, who has returned back-to-back double-figure hauls for City for the first time this season. He has not been benched since game week 4, so hopefully he continues that run of games and run of forms for Manchester City. Up top, I'm going with Welbeck, who was rested in their game over the weekend as well. I think he gets back into the starting lineup for the game against West Ham. And my second attacker is going to be Erling Haaland, who is also going to be my captain ahead of the game against Sunderland. I think that's going to be a really, really tight game for Man City. But we just know what Haaland's form is like at home. Yes, he failed to deliver any attacking return in his last home game against Leeds, but I think he should be able to get a goal in the game against Sunderland. I know that it's going to be a really edgy game, really cagey game. Sunderland may sit deep. They may come out and play. If they do come out and play, it leaves a lot of spaces in behind for Haaland to attack their defense. So I think he should be able to get something out of this game. I could also look at tripling up on City attack and having just Bruno Fernandes for the Wolves game. Reason because I'd like to have one of Cherki or Doku. Cherki hasn't started the last 2 games for City. I think if Sunderland actually do play a low block, these are the kind of games that favour him. He will find a way to unlock that defense, create an assist, possibly get a goal as well. So it's neither here. I could also go for Doku, who likes to run at the defenders, has been really, really great for City so far, creating a lot of chances, getting those assists, getting a couple of goals as well. So I could go Mbeumo or Doku or Cherki. That's another position I'm also looking at. I will make my decision before the deadline. If you have any thoughts you could share on a player that I could use to fill that position. Also looking at Minte, please just let me know. On my bench, I have Dubravka, who is away at Newcastle, McGui away at Bournemouth, and Ramsey and Williams away at Leeds. So this is what my team looks like. I am still considering possibly a Manchester United defense. I may back out of the Arsenal defensive own altogether. I may go for Lamens in goal. And possibly upgrade Guehi to the likes of Munoz just because of his number of attacking returns and clean sheets in the last 6 game weeks. So yeah, this is what my team looks like. Like I said, my captain is currently on Erling Haaland, my vice is on Bruno Fernandes, and hopefully this free hit team is a success. So if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe, share. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If you're new around here, the aim is 500 subscribers before Christmas and 1,000 views and likes on this video. And I'll do well to see you guys in the next FPL video.